In a universe full of ideas, we draw lightness from the dark to a place where opposites attract. Right meets left, positive touches negative, sparking an explosion of truth. Because politics makes strange bedfellows.
Because he has such a strong anti-war message, and he's always been consistently anti-war his entire political life, the many people, including myself, are trying to square this with his unbending, unyielding support for Israel and all of the money and the weapons that we give Israel. And, Bobby, when he was trying to knock down these false allegations that he's some kind of anti-Semite, which he certainly is not, this week he held an event with Rabbi Schmuley Boteach, famous rabbi, at his, I think it's called the World Values Foundation or something like that in New York City. And of course, you're there in New York City, and you're a guy who does interventions, and you had some questions. So you showed up. You and Kynan both came out. And I'd like to show you a little video of that and show you guys what happened. Now, the video I'm going to show you, I'll show you a couple of different angles because what we're looking at here is the official live stream that the Kennedy campaign was broadcasting live. And they only had one camera trained on the stage, but there's no microphone or camera out in the audience. So you'll hear Jose, but it's a little garbled. It's hard to understand his question. But I'll play this for you so that you can see the response that Jose got from both Kennedy and from the rabbi. Take a look.
Thank you. Okay. Bobby, what was the last week and a half like for you?
It had its ups and downs. Listen, I have a thick skin. I've been involved in controversial issues for most of my career, and usually stuff, even vitriol and poison does not affect me very much. Or it really doesn't affect me at all. My wife actually complains about that. But the charge of anti-Semitism is one that cuts me. And it, hurts me, it hurts Cheryl, it hurts our family. And so that was painful. But I also, when I was sitting in front of the committee and seeing the people who were making that charge against me, my attitude toward them was not hatred or anger. I don't know why they made those charges. I don't believe they believe that I'm an anti-Semite. I've literally never said an anti-Semitic word in my life. But I believe that they probably think what they were doing was right in one way or another. And I think we all have this capacity for self-delusion to judge ourselves on our intentions rather than our actions. And I think if we're going to really heal the divide between Americans, which is one of the things that I'm trying to do with this campaign, is we can't react even to hatred with hatred. We have to react with forgiveness. We have to react with kindness and generosity. If you harbor resentments, it's like swallowing poison and hoping someone else will die. It corrodes our own souls. So I think for me, my reaction was appropriate, I think, which is to say that that's not true and to try to have my say, but to not react, as you pointed out, with vitriol in return.
Well,
Wait for it.
But help me understand. Help. Thank you. When you run for president, we're going to have you up here. But right now he is, so let him speak. Thank you very much. No. He is running for president. We will have questions at the end. We will. We're going to have questions at the end. And if you're quiet now, I'll choose you first, okay? If you're silent now, I'll give you the first question. If you're not, I asked, why is this night so different than all other nights? It turns out I had no idea. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Watch
Thank you.
Kennedy's face.
Thank you.
What did he say there?
Bobby, help me. Thank you for your apology, but thank you. Okay. Bobby, help me on.
What did Bobby
so-
say there, actually? Like, he says one comment or something to me. I didn't hear that.
I think when you were asking him to take the flyer about the Humanity for Peace rally on August 6th, he said, yes, I'll accept that. He said, okay.
Okay.
And I was watching his face. His expressions tell you a lot. I know him, so I kind of know how to read him, I think. And he wasn't, I think he recognized you, Jose. I think he's seen
Lori,
your other videos.
I really appreciate you showing me that angle. And I was kind of, after and Kynan could talk about it, I was like, really like, man, like, was that worth it? Because I was given some false intel now that I know that there was not going to be a Q&A. And so I thought, okay, well, so
This
thought,
is my
all
only
right.
chance, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. I was like, shoot, I mean, I guess if this is the only chance, then, how do you do an intervention on somebody you kind of respect? And at that point in the room, 2 other people had already intervened. So the tension was kind of there and people weren't really in the mood for another interruption. So it was really difficult, but.
Well, wait, you mean there'd been interruptions before that? Because that's at the very start when he sits down and begins with Kennedy.
Yeah, during Rabbi Schmuley's 20-minute introduction of Kennedy.
Oh, he did that long introduction. Yeah. Okay.
During his 20-minute introduction, Rabbi Schmuley goes, Rabbi Schmuley sucks. I mean, but there was a really offensive part, which, like, Lori, I know you're gonna immediately pounce on the error, but Rabbi Schmuley was saying, Robert Kennedy Sr. was one of the greatest patriots of this country who had such a big heart and love for what? For Israel. And what was the price he paid for that love? Death. By who? A Palestinian. Sirhan killed this man's father, all because he loved Israel. I know, and you probably know better than I do, that Bobby Kennedy has gone on the record saying he doesn't think that Sirhan killed his father, that he was a patsy at least.
Exactly. And yet Bobby held his tongue. He did not correct Rabbi Schmuley on that. And that's kind of interesting that he didn't, because he certainly does not believe that Sirhan killed his father.
Wow.
He's visited Sirhan in prison.
Right.
He advocated for his release when he was up for parole before the California Parole Board. But he held his tongue on that. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I would have too. He has to be pragmatic as a politician right now. And I don't think he wants to have the attention focused on that. He wanted to focus on the issues. If he had spoken up and made a thing out of it, that would have been the headline. That's what everyone would remember. So he's a smart guy. He has to let a lot of people say a lot of things that maybe he doesn't agree with. Just let some stuff slide so that he can get to the more important things. That's my take on it. And you're going to see a lot of that. That's part of the political game. And when you're running for president, you need to pick your battles, right?
And certainly be careful if you're going to, go against Israel. You're not going to get elected dog catcher.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
I mean, the Israel lobby is so powerful and owns the Democratic Party, owns the Republican Party too. But in this event this week, I mean, Kennedy out-Trumped Trump. He went all in on Israel, like even deeper than Trump ever dared to go. And I personally have never seen, as much as Donald Trump, plays up to the Israel lobby, I've never seen Trump give a hour-and-a-half long dissertation explaining the whole history of it, why he feels the way he feels, and really explaining his position the way that Kennedy did at this event this week. So even though I disagree with him, I have to hand it to him on that. He was willing to come and defend his position, explain his position. And I didn't agree with a lot of what he said, but he came in and he took the fire and he took the interventions, the interruptions. He was polite. He was kind. And I want to show you guys another angle. Hopefully you'll be able to understand what Jose actually said from this angle. This one is out in the crowd, so we can get a better idea of what actually happened there. Let's take a look.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. I support your message for peace, and I appreciate you being here. As a supporter. No, please. I respect you for calling for the message of your uncle. The message for peace are for Israel. Thank you. Again, Mr. Kennedy, I respect the message. We're having a rally on August 6th for peace, and we need you to help enforce it. I support everything happening here. But Mr. Kennedy, please, this is the only way I can get a message to you. Will you at least take the leaflet? It's a peace leaflet. That's all it is. Brady Governor is speaking. Scott Ritter is speaking. Can you just take this? Can someone grab this from your team? That's all I want. That's it. Thank you. I apologize. I just wanted to... Hold on.
Get rid of him.
I apologize for interrupting. I just wanted to say I support the message. Peace.
Thank you. Bobby, help me understand. Please help me understand.
Well, at least his security was nice to you. They didn't rough you up or knock you down or call the cops on you.
Well, actually, as I was being escorted out, the security guy said, "You saved yourself. You saved yourself." I don't know exactly what he meant by that, but,
I don't know what he meant by that either. It's a strange thing to say. Saved yourself from what?
Because I said, "I'm sorry" or something, It was tough to try and get the attention of the crowd, because that's why I said, I'm a supporter. I wouldn't say that in public. Like right now, I would not call myself an RFK Jr. supporter. I'm not endorsing any candidate right now. I'm with what Kynan said. Kynan put it out very clearly why we are going up to bat for RFK. I guess we'll put it that way. But right now I'm not endorsing any candidates for president. Right now I'm very focused on the citizenry and mobilizing the citizenry. But that being said, the reason I said I'm a supporter is because I was hoping the crowd wouldn't be as rude as they were. But again, there were two other interventions before mine. So that's why they were, yeah.
Right. And here in a little while, as we go through, I'm going to show you a few excerpts from this event because it got pretty heated at times. And we're going to get to Kynan's question also. See, you guys didn't know when you went in there that there was actually going to be a Q&A period at the end. So that's why you interrupted. I wanted to make that clear to our viewers. Jose was not being unduly rude. He just didn't know that there actually would be a Q&A session at the end. He interrupted at the beginning. Kynan waited until the end and was actually able to ask Mr. Kennedy a question, and Kennedy just warmed right up to him, really loved his question. So I'll play that for you later and let you guys see what he actually had to say. But I wanted to ask you this, Jose. Compared to other events that you've done interventions at with politicians, in terms of how the audience responded to you. I mean, I did hear people there at the Kennedy event saying, shut him up, get him out of here. But I didn't hear it as loud and insistent as I've heard at other events you've interrupted, say by AOC, where people are really hostile to you. And most of the audience cheers and claps when security drags you out. It's just obvious that they hate you at those events. But I didn't sense that hate coming at you from the Kennedy audience. And I was wondering am I right? Am I wrong? Did you
No,
get a
you're
lot of
complete.
hostility?
Actually, no, you hit the nail on the head, and I'll tell you why, and then Kynan will follow up with an interesting tidbit.
Yeah, please.
So the people in my immediate radius who could hear me, once I was being escorted out, I had people ask me like, "Oh, do you have more leaflets? I'd like to come." Sure.
See?
The people who couldn't hear me were being rude because they thought I was because somebody called Rabbi Schmuley an asshole. That's what happened before I got up. And like as much as I agree with the sentiment, you just don't call somebody an asshole, in the middle of their thing like that. That was really just uncalled for and disrespectful.
Unless it's the editor of the New York Times, then it's okay.
Yeah, well,
You did call him an asshole.
Okay.
And I loved it.
You pick your battles, but anyway.
That's
but I had left my backpack there with Kynan. So as I was, towards the back to the people who couldn't hear me, they're like, "Yeah, get out of here, you anti-Semite." They just didn't know. They didn't know. They thought I was there to interrupt and, call Rabbi Schmuley out. That's not at all what it was. So, but then Kynan, why don't you tell them the story of what happened?
I think I told this to you, Lori. There was a woman that was 2 seats next to us on the left. And as Jose was getting escorted out, her husband actually was interested in what Jose was promoting. He wanted a flyer for the rally, and I reach in Jose's bag to get it. I grab the flyer, and then all of a sudden, his wife, right to his left, just takes it and just rips it up violently. And I'm like, and we just look at each other like, geez, damn. And she like really doesn't like him. And unfortunately,
really doesn't like peace, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, peace. This is bad. Humanity for peace? Nah, that must be ripped up. I hate that. That's something that I wanted to let you know that I've put in a good word through my channels for what it's worth with Mr. Kennedy. I actually think your event next weekend is right up his alley. It's just the sort of thing that people who support Kennedy would naturally support. It's a, anti-nuclear war rally. It's a remembrance for the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I know that if Kennedy had known what you were talking about, and now he does because he does have the flyer, that he would approve, that he would agree, and maybe even endorse it if he's not busy next weekend. Who knows? Maybe he'll show up in New York. I hope he does come out to Das Hammarskjöld Plaza at the UN and join you, because this is the sort of thing that's right up his alley.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.